CLEP Principles of Management Administrative Management. Question 1. After consultants help improve culture, teamwork, and readiness for change during a staffing shortage for the Ironwood unit, which label best fits the action? Option A. Scientific management. Option B. Organization development. Option C. Recruitment. Option D. Budget variance analysis. The correct answer is option B. Organization development. Organization development fits because organization development uses planned interventions to improve organizational effectiveness. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and budget variance analysis is different because it compares planned and actual financial results. Question 2. If executives respond to a crisis the company has never faced before during an operations review for the Ironwood unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A. Program decision. Option B. Non-program decision. Option C. Procedure. Option D. Standing plan. The correct answer is option B. Non-program decision. Non-program decision fits because non-program decisions are novel, complex, and not solved by routine rules. Program decision is different because it handles repeated problems, procedure is different because it gives routine steps, and standing plan is different because it guides recurring situations. Question 3. To analyze a case where a manager sends instructions and performance expectations to employees during a strategic planning session for the Ironwood unit, which term should be selected? Option A. Upward communication. Option B. Horizontal communication. Option C. Grapevine. Option D. Downward communication. The correct answer is option D. Downward communication. Downward communication fits because downward communication flows from higher levels to lower levels. Upward communication is different because it moves from employees to managers. Horizontal communication is different because it moves among peers, and grapevine is different because it is informal and unofficial. Question 4. For an exam item where leaders explain the organization's basic purpose and reason for existing during a compliance review for the Ironwood unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A. Procedure. Option B. Mission statement. Option C. Variance report. Option D. Job specification. The correct answer is option B. Mission statement. Mission statement fits because a mission statement states what the organization does and why it exists. Procedure is different because it gives step-by-step instructions. Variance report is different because it compares actual results with standards, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications for a job. Question 5. In a workplace example where a manager chooses a satisfactory solution because time and information are limited during a merger discussion for the Ironwood unit, which concept is tested? Option A. Perfect rationality. Option B. Bounded rationality. Option C. Brainstorming. Option D. Management by exception. The correct answer is option B. Bounded rationality. Bounded rationality fits because bounded rationality recognizes that managers cannot always make perfectly rational decisions. Perfect rationality is different because it assumes complete information and unlimited analysis. Brainstorming is different because it generates many ideas, and management by exception is different because it focuses attention on major deviations. Question 6. Before choosing an answer about a department head groups jobs, assigns authority, and allocates resources inside a hospital department for the Ironwood unit, which concept should stand out? Option A. Planning. Option B. Leading. Option C. Organizing. Option D. Controlling. The correct answer is option C. Organizing. Organizing fits because organizing creates the structure needed to carry out a plan. Planning is different because it chooses goals before the structure is built. Leading is different because it motivates people rather than designs jobs, and controlling is different because it checks performance after standards exist. Question 7. One manager notices that an HR specialist advises managers about hiring rules without running their departments in a remote service team for the Ironwood unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A. Line authority. Option B. Centralization. Option C. Staff authority. Option D. Concurrent control. The correct answer is option C. Staff authority. Staff authority fits because staff authority supports line managers with specialized advice. Line authority is different because it directly commands core work. Centralization is different because it concerns where decisions are made, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work in progress. Question 8. Could a case where a leader recognizes frustration in a team and responds calmly at a logistics company for the Ironwood unit best point to which concept? Option A. Technical skill. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, span of control. Option D, emotional intelligence. The correct answer is option D, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence fits because emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing emotions in oneself and others. Technical skill is different because it concerns specialized job knowledge. Benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leaders, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 9. Why would a scenario where an engineer reports to both a functional manager and a project manager inside a software company for the Ironwood unit most likely test which idea? Option A, functional structure. Option B, centralization. Option C, job analysis. Option D, matrix structure. The correct answer is option D, matrix structure. Matrix structure fits because a matrix structure combines functional and project authority, creating dual reporting. Functional structure is different because it usually has one functional chain. Centralization is different because it refers to where decisions are made, and job analysis is different because it studies the content of a job. Question 10. Where does a manager set objectives and chooses actions before work begins inside a government agency for the Ironwood unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, organizing. Option B, leading. Option C, planning. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option C, planning. Planning fits because planning is the function that defines goals and decides how to reach them. Organizing is different because it arranges resources after goals are set. Leading is different because it influences people to work toward goals, and controlling is different because it measures results against standards. Question 11. Should a student connect? A leader gives capable experts broad freedom and little direct supervision during a staffing shortage for the Ironwood unit with which management concept? Option A, laissez-faire leadership. Option B, autocratic leadership. Option C, bureaucratic leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option A, laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership fits because laissez-faire leadership minimizes leader control and allows follower autonomy. Autocratic leadership is different because it is directive and centralized. Bureaucratic leadership is different because it follows rules closely, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes rewards and corrections. Question 12. Which concept is shown when an employee accepts the duty to complete an assigned task during an operations review for the Ironwood unit? Option A, responsibility. Option B, authority. Option C, accountability. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option A, responsibility. Responsibility fits because responsibility is the obligation to perform assigned work. Authority is different because it is the right to direct work. Accountability is different because it is answerability for outcomes, and centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Question 13. A company creates separate units for consumer products, business products, and services during a strategic planning session for the Ironwood unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, functional structure. Option B, divisional structure. Option C, simple structure. Option D, staff authority. The correct answer is option B, divisional structure. Divisional structure fits because a divisional structure groups work around products, customers, or regions. Functional structure is different because it groups by specialized activities. Simple structure is different because it has little formalization and few departments, and staff authority is different because it gives advice rather than a full divisional design. Question 14. During a management case, a company gives managers broad guidance for handling customer refunds during a compliance review for the Ironwood unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, procedure. Option B, policy. Option C, rule. Option D, vision. The correct answer is option B, policy. Policy fits because a policy is a general guideline for recurring decisions. Procedure is different because it gives exact steps to follow. Rule is different because it states a specific required or prohibited action, and vision is different because it describes a desired future. Question 15. How should a manager classify a situation where HR builds a pool of applicants for an open position during a merger discussion for the Ironwood unit? Option A, recruitment. Option B, selection. Option C, orientation. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option A, recruitment. Recruitment fits because recruitment attracts qualified candidates to apply. Selection is different because it chooses among applicants. Orientation is different because it introduces hired employees, and performance appraisal is different because it evaluates work results. Question 16. When branch managers are allowed to solve local customer problems without headquarters approval inside a hospital department for the Ironwood unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, decentralization. Option B, centralization. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option A, decentralization. Decentralization fits because decentralization gives lower levels more authority to make decisions. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at the top, bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 17. After a manager compares actual performance with standards and corrects a gap in a remote service team for the Ironwood unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, planning. Option B, controlling. Option C, organizing. Option D, leading. The correct answer is option B, controlling. Controlling fits because controlling measures results, compares them with standards and triggers corrective action. Planning is different because it sets goals but does not measure completed results. Organizing is different because it assigns work and authority, and leading is different because it motivates people rather than evaluates variances. Question 18. If a manager defines a problem, lists alternatives, evaluates them, and selects a solution at a logistics company for the Ironwood unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, grapevine. Option B, equity theory. Option C, rational decision-making model. Option D, laissez-faire leadership. The correct answer is option C, rational decision-making model. Rational decision-making model fits because the rational model uses a logical sequence to choose among alternatives. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, equity theory is different because it explains motivation through fairness, and laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers broad freedom. Question 19. To analyze a case where experts give anonymous opinions through several rounds of questionnaires inside a software company for the Ironwood unit, which term should be selected? Option A, town hall meeting. Option B, functional structure. Option C, concurrent control. Option D, Delphi technique. The correct answer is option D, Delphi technique. Delphi technique fits because the Delphi technique gathers expert judgment while reducing direct social pressure. Town hall meeting is different because it is open discussion rather than anonymous expert rounds. Functional structure is different because it groups similar activities, and concurrent control is different because it monitors current work. Question 20. For an exam item where inspectors compare finished products with established specifications inside a government agency for the Ironwood unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, quality control. Option B, recruitment. Option C, delegation. Option D, vision. The correct answer is option A, quality control. Quality control fits because quality control checks outputs against standards to identify defects or variation. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants. Delegation is different because it assigns responsibility and authority, and vision is different because it describes a desired future. Question 21. In a workplace example where a theorist emphasizes hierarchy, formal rules, and impersonal treatment during a staffing shortage for the Ironwood unit, which concept is tested? Option A, human relations management. Option B, transformational leadership. Option C, bureaucratic management. Option D, JIT inventory. The correct answer is option C, bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic management fits because bureaucratic management explains organizations through formal authority, rules, and specialization. Human relations management is different because it emphasizes social and psychological factors. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires change through vision, and JIT inventory is different because it reduces inventory holding. Question 22. Before choosing an answer about work is studied to find the most efficient way to perform each task during an operations review for the Ironwood unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, human relations approach. Option B, contingency theory. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, scientific management. The correct answer is option D, scientific management. Scientific management fits because scientific management emphasizes task analysis, standard methods, and efficiency. Human relations approach is different because it emphasizes social needs and worker attitudes. Contingency theory is different because it argues management depends on the situation, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes hierarchy and rules. Question 23. One manager notices that a manager uses formal authority to impose a conflict decision quickly during a strategic planning session for the Ironwood unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, accommodation. Option B, collaboration. Option C, compromise. Option D, forcing. The correct answer is option D, forcing. Forcing fits because forcing is a win-lose style that relies on power or authority. Accommodation is different because it gives in to preserve harmony, collaboration is different because it seeks mutual gains, and compromise is different because it splits concessions between sides. Question 24. Could a case where a neutral third party hears a dispute and makes a binding decision during a compliance review for the Ironwood unit best point to which concept? Option A, mediation. Option B, arbitration. Option C, brainstorming. Option D, job rotation. The correct answer is option B, arbitration. Arbitration fits because arbitration gives the third party authority to decide the outcome. Mediation is different because it helps parties negotiate without imposing a decision. Brainstorming is different because it generates ideas, and job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs. Question 25. Why would a scenario where managers compare internal strengths and weaknesses with external opportunities and threats during a merger discussion for the Ironwood unit most likely test which idea? Option A, PERT analysis. Option B, performance appraisal. Option C, SWOT analysis. Option D, collective bargaining. The correct answer is option C, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis fits because SWOT analysis organizes internal and external factors for strategic planning. PERT analysis is different because it schedules complex project activities, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates an employee's work, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor agreements. Question 26. Where does a production manager directly supervises employees who make the company's product inside a hospital department for the Ironwood unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, staff authority. Option B, line authority. Option C, informal authority. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option B, line authority. Line authority fits because line authority is direct authority over core work activities. Staff authority is different because it provides advice and support. Informal authority is different because it comes from relationships rather than formal position, and mediation is different because it helps parties settle a dispute. Question 27. Should a student connect, a manager must explain why a project missed its target in a remote service team for the Ironwood unit with which management concept? Option A, authority. Option B, delegation. Option C, recruitment. Option D, accountability. The correct answer is option D, accountability. Accountability fits because accountability means being answerable for results. Authority is different because it is decision-making power, delegation is different because it transfers work and authority to another person, and recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants. Question 28. Which concept is shown when two departments search for a solution that fully addresses both sides' concerns at a logistics company for the Ironwood unit? Option A, avoidance. Option B, collaboration. Option C, forcing. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option B, collaboration. Collaboration fits because collaboration tries to create a win-win outcome by addressing underlying interests. Avoidance is different because it postpones or ignores the conflict. Forcing is different because it uses power to win at the other's expense, and compromise is different because it requires each side to give up something. Question 29. A supervisor motivates employees and guides them toward a shared goal inside a software company for the Ironwood unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, planning. Option B, leading. Option C, organizing. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option B, leading. Leading fits because leading focuses on influencing, motivating, and directing people. Planning is different because it is about setting direction before action. Organizing is different because it designs responsibilities and relationships, and controlling is different because it compares results with standards. Question 30. During a management case, workers are told that safety goggles must be worn in the lab inside a government agency for the Ironwood unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, rule. Option B, policy. Option C, strategy. Option D, empowerment. The correct answer is option A, rule. Rule fits because a rule states exactly what must or must not be done. Policy is different because it offers broad guidance rather than a specific command. Strategy is different because it sets broad direction, and empowerment is different because it gives employees more decision authority. Question 31. How should a manager classify a situation where a company compares its process with industry leaders to find improvement targets during a staffing shortage for the ironwood unit? Option A, forecasting. Option B, orientation. Option C, mediation. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option D, benchmarking. Benchmarking fits because benchmarking studies best practices to improve performance. Forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions, orientation is different because it introduces new employees, and mediation is different because it guides conflict resolution. Question 32. When frontline employees send suggestions and problems to senior managers during an operations review for the ironwood unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, downward communication. Option B, upward communication. Option C, horizontal communication. Option D, external communication. The correct answer is option B, upward communication. Upward communication fits because upward communication flows from lower levels to higher levels. Downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees, horizontal communication is different because it flows across peers, and external communication is different because it crosses organizational boundaries. Question 33. After major decisions must be approved by top executives during a strategic planning session for the ironwood unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, decentralization. Option B, centralization. Option C, empowerment. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option B, centralization. Centralization fits because centralization concentrates decision authority at higher levels. Decentralization is different because it pushes authority to lower levels, empowerment is different because it gives employees more discretion, and horizontal communication is different because it flows among peers. Question 34. If a job is redesigned to include more responsibility, achievement, and growth during a compliance review for the ironwood unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, job enlargement. Option C, job rotation. Option D, job simplification. The correct answer is option A, job enrichment. Job enrichment fits because job enrichment adds motivating factors to the depth of a job. Job enlargement is different because it adds more tasks at the same level. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and job simplification is different because it reduces task complexity. Question 35. To analyze a case where a neutral third party helps disputing employees reach their own agreement during a merger discussion for the ironwood unit, which term should be selected? Option A, arbitration. Option B, mediation. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, groupthink. The correct answer is option B, mediation. Mediation fits because mediation guides the process without imposing a binding decision. Arbitration is different because it usually gives the third-party decision power. Collective bargaining is different because it is labor management negotiation, and groupthink is different because it is pressure toward agreement. Question 36. For an exam item where a team member keeps discussion focused on goals, facts, and deadlines inside a hospital department for the ironwood unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, maintenance role. Option B, blocking role. Option C, informal authority. Option D, task role. The correct answer is option D, task role. Task role fits because task roles help the group accomplish its work. Maintenance role is different because it supports relationships and morale. Blocking role is different because it disrupts group progress, and informal authority is different because it comes from influence rather than position. Question 37. In a workplace example where employees follow a required sequence for approving purchase orders in a remote service team for the ironwood unit, which concept is tested? Option A, policy. Option B, mission. Option C, procedure. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option C, procedure. Procedure fits because a procedure lists the steps for completing a recurring task. Policy is different because it is broader and less step-by-step. Mission is different because it states the organization's purpose, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 38. Before choosing an answer about employees can trace who reports to whom from supervisor to executive at a logistics company for the ironwood unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, equity theory. Option D, chain of command. The correct answer is option D, chain of command. Chain of command fits because the chain of command shows the formal line of authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to work. Benchmarking is different because it compares performance with best practices, and equity theory is different because it concerns perceived fairness. Question 39. One manager notices that a supervisor formally evaluates an employee's job results against standards inside a software company for the ironwood unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, job analysis. Option B, recruitment. Option C, performance appraisal. Option D, orientation. The correct answer is option C, performance appraisal. Performance appraisal fits because performance appraisal assesses how well an employee met performance expectations. Job analysis is different because it studies job duties, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and orientation is different because it introduces new hires. Question 40. Could a case where a diagram shows formal positions and reporting relationships inside a government agency for the ironwood unit best point to which concept? Option A, balance sheet. Option B, SWOT table. Option C, organization chart. Option D, training plan. The correct answer is option C, organization chart. Organization chart fits because an organization chart visually displays formal authority and reporting lines. Balance sheet is different because it reports financial position, SWOT table is different because it summarizes strategic factors, and training plan is different because it develops employee skills. Question 41. Why would a scenario where middle managers convert broad goals into departmental actions during a staffing shortage for the ironwood unit most likely test which idea? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, orientation. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, tactical planning. The correct answer is option D, tactical planning. Tactical planning fits because tactical planning translates strategy into plans for units or departments. Strategic planning is different because it is broader and handled mainly by top management. Orientation is different because it introduces new employees to the organization, and collective bargaining is different because it is negotiation between labor and management. Question 42. Where does employees organize as a group to represent their workplace interests during an operations review for the ironwood unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, quality circle. Option B, functional department. Option C, mission statement. Option D, labor union. The correct answer is option D, labor union. Labor union fits because a labor union represents workers collectively in dealing with management. Quality circle is different because it focuses on work improvement suggestions. Functional department is different because it groups similar work, and mission statement is different because it states purpose. Question 43. Should a student connect a leader inspires employees with a vision for major change during a strategic planning session for the ironwood unit with which management concept? Option A, transactional leadership. Option B, scientific management. Option C, transformational leadership. Option D, budgetary control. The correct answer is option C, transformational leadership. Transformational leadership fits because transformational leadership motivates people through vision, meaning, and change. Transactional leadership is different because it focuses on exchanges and rewards. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, and budgetary control is different because it monitors financial results. Question 44. Which concept is shown when a manager studies how changes in one department affect suppliers, employees, and customers during a compliance review for the ironwood unit? Option A, scientific management. Option B, job specification. Option C, downward communication. Option D, systems theory. The correct answer is option D, systems theory. Systems theory fits because systems theory views the organization as interdependent parts within a larger environment. Scientific management is different because it focuses on efficient task design. Job specification is different because it lists worker qualifications, and downward communication is different because it describes message direction. Question 45. Frontline supervisors plan specific daily activities and work routines during a merger discussion for the ironwood unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, organization development. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, operational planning. The correct answer is option D, operational planning. Operational planning fits because operational planning deals with short-range tasks, procedures, and schedules. Strategic planning is different because it covers broad long-term direction. Organization development is different because it focuses on planned organizational change, and benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leading performers. Question 46. During a management case, a new competitor enters the market with lower prices inside a hospital department for the ironwood unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, threat. Option B, strength. Option C, opportunity. Option D, procedure. The correct answer is option A, threat. Threat fits because a threat is an external condition that can harm performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and procedure is different because it is a sequence of steps. Question 47. How should a manager classify a situation where managers recognize that social needs and group norms affect productivity in a remote service team for the ironwood unit? Option A, human relations approach. Option B, scientific management. Option C, classical bureaucracy. Option D, PERT. The correct answer is option A, human relations approach. Human relations approach fits because the human relations approach emphasizes people, morale, and social factors at work. Scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient task methods. Classical bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes formal rules and hierarchy, and PERT is different because it schedules project activities. Question 48. When a manager postpones addressing a conflict and hopes it disappears at a logistics company for the ironwood unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, forcing. Option B, collaboration. Option C, mediation. Option D, avoidance. The correct answer is option D, avoidance. Avoidance fits because avoidance delays or withdraws from conflict rather than solving it directly. Forcing is different because it uses authority to impose a solution. Collaboration is different because it openly works through both sides' concerns, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral facilitator. Question 49. After a manager focuses attention only on major deviations from standards inside a software company for the ironwood unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, management by exception. Option B, micromanagement. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, job enlargement. The correct answer is option A, management by exception. Management by exception fits because management by exception saves attention for significant performance gaps. Micromanagement is different because it closely controls small details. Laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives broad freedom, and job enlargement is different because it adds similar tasks. Question 50. If an employee develops a new product idea inside an existing company inside a government agency for the ironwood unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, entrepreneurship. Option B, collective bargaining. Option C, span of control. Option D, entrepreneurship. The correct answer is option D, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship fits because entrepreneurship is entrepreneurial behavior within an established organization. Entrepreneurship is different because it usually involves starting a new independent venture. Collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor terms, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 51. To analyze a case where a company considers how its decisions affect employees, customers, communities, and the environment during a staffing shortage for the ironwood unit, which term should be selected? Option A, corporate social responsibility. Option B, scientific management. Option C, span of control. Option D, selection. The correct answer is option A, corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility fits because corporate social responsibility considers business obligations to stakeholders and society. Scientific management is different because it studies efficient task methods. Span of control is different because it counts direct reports, and selection is different because it chooses applicants. Question 52. For an exam item where a firm discovers its outdated software is hurting productivity during an operations review for the ironwood unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, weakness. Option B, strength. Option C, opportunity. Option D, threat. The correct answer is option A, weakness. Weakness fits because a weakness is an internal limitation that can reduce performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage. Opportunity is different because it comes from a favorable external condition, and threat is different because it comes from an unfavorable external condition. Question 53. In a workplace example where workers plan, schedule, monitor, and control much of their own work during a strategic planning session for the ironwood unit, which concept is tested? Option A, traditional team. Option B, virtual organization. Option C, quality circle. Option D, self-managed team. The correct answer is option D, self-managed team. Self-managed team fits because self-managed teams have authority over many administrative and work process decisions. Traditional team is different because it relies more on a supervisor for direction. Virtual organization is different because it uses networks and technology across locations, and quality circle is different because it usually recommends improvements rather than manages all work. Question 54. Before choosing an answer about a team includes employees with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives during a compliance review for the Ironwood unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, uniformity. Option B, centralization. Option C, budget variance. Option D, workforce diversity. The correct answer is option D, workforce diversity. Workforce diversity fits because workforce diversity refers to differences among employees that can affect work and decisions. Uniformity is different because it means sameness rather than difference. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at higher levels, and budget variance is different because it compares financial actuals with planned amounts. Question 55. One manager notices that a leader focuses first on helping followers grow and succeed during a merger discussion for the Ironwood unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, servant leadership. Option C, transactional leadership. Option D, scientific management. The correct answer is option B, servant leadership. Servant leadership fits because servant leadership prioritizes follower development, service, and trust. Autocratic leadership is different because it emphasizes command by the leader. Transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes performance exchanges, and scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient work methods. Question 56. Could a case where a new customer segment appears in the market inside a hospital department for the Ironwood unit best point to which concept? Option A, opportunity. Option B, weakness. Option C, strength. Option D, policy. The correct answer is option A, opportunity. Opportunity fits because an opportunity is an external condition the organization can use to improve results. Weakness is different because it is inside the organization, strength is different because it is an internal advantage, and policy is different because it is a general decision guideline. Question 57. Why would a scenario where team members write ideas silently, discuss them, and rank the options in a remote service team for the Ironwood unit most likely test which idea? Option A, brainstorming. Option B, grapevine. Option C, nominal group technique. Option D, job analysis. The correct answer is option C, nominal group technique. Nominal group technique fits because the nominal group technique reduces dominance by collecting individual ideas before voting. Brainstorming is different because it usually encourages open idea generation. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job analysis is different because it studies work duties. Question 58. Where does managers estimate future sales before setting staffing levels at a logistics company for the Ironwood unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, delegation. Option B, forecasting. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option B, forecasting. Forecasting fits because forecasting predicts future conditions so managers can plan more intelligently. Delegation is different because it assigns responsibility and authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to a job, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral party to guide dispute resolution. Question 59. Should a student connect a company identifies a patented process it owns as an advantage inside a software company for the Ironwood unit with which management concept? Option A, strength. Option B, threat. Option C, opportunity. Option D, weakness. The correct answer is option A, strength. Strength fits because a strength is an internal positive capability or resource. Threat is different because it is an external danger. Opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and weakness is different because it is an internal limitation. Question 60. Which concept is shown when employees learn skills needed for their current job inside a government agency for the Ironwood unit? Option A, development. Option B, recruitment. Option C, training. Option D, compensation. The correct answer is option C, training. Training fits because training develops abilities that improve current job performance. Development is different because it prepares employees for broader future roles. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and compensation is different because it provides pay and benefits. Question 61. A team generates many ideas before judging any of them during a staffing shortage for the Ironwood unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, groupthink. Option B, arbitration. Option C, brainstorming. Option D, budgeting. The correct answer is option C, brainstorming. Brainstorming fits because brainstorming separates idea generation from evaluation to encourage creativity. Groupthink is different because it pressures members toward agreement, arbitration is different because it lets a third party decide a dispute, and budgeting is different because it plans financial resources. Question 62. During a management case, a company reinforces a new process until it becomes the normal way to work during an operations review for the ironwood unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, unfreezing. Option B, refreezing. Option C, storming. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option B, refreezing. Refreezing fits because refreezing stabilizes a change so the new behavior lasts. Unfreezing is different because it prepares people for change, storming is different because it is a team development stage, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 63. How should a manager classify a situation where employees share unwritten values about how work should be done during a strategic planning session for the ironwood unit? Option A, organization chart. Option B, budget. Option C, job specification. Option D, organizational culture. The correct answer is option D, organizational culture. Organizational culture fits because organizational culture is the shared values, beliefs, and assumptions of members. Organization chart is different because it shows formal structure, budget is different because it allocates money, and job specification is different because it lists required qualifications. Question 64. When a leader makes decisions alone and expects quick compliance during a compliance review for the ironwood unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, democratic leadership. Option B, autocratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, servant leadership. The correct answer is option B, autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership fits because autocratic leadership centralizes authority in the leader. Democratic leadership is different because it invites participation, laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers wide freedom, and servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers' needs. Question 65. After employees make small ongoing changes to improve a process during a merger discussion for the ironwood unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, continuous improvement. Option B, crisis management. Option C, job specification. Option D, autocratic leadership. The correct answer is option A, continuous improvement. Continuous improvement fits because continuous improvement focuses on steady incremental gains. Crisis management is different because it responds to emergencies. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications, and autocratic leadership is different because it centralizes decisions in the leader. Question 66. If employees are grouped into departments such as finance, marketing, and operations inside a hospital department for the ironwood unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, functional structure. Option B, divisional structure. Option C, matrix structure. Option D, virtual team. The correct answer is option A, functional structure. Functional structure fits because a functional structure groups people by similar skills or activities. Divisional structure is different because it groups by product, customer, or geography. Matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines, and virtual team is different because it works across distance through technology. Question 67. To analyze a case where a decision affects owners, employees, customers, suppliers, and the local community in a remote service team for the ironwood unit, which term should be selected? Option A, shareholder only. Option B, span of control. Option C, stakeholder. Option D, PERD activity. The correct answer is option C, stakeholder. Stakeholder fits because stakeholders are groups or individuals affected by or able to affect the organization. Shareholder only is different because it is only one type of stakeholder. Span of control is different because it counts direct reports, and PERD activity is different because it is a project scheduling element. Question 68. For an exam item where a team writes a goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound at a logistics company for the ironwood unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, vision statement. Option B, grapevine. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, SMART goal. The correct answer is option D, SMART goal. SMART goal fits because SMART goals are clear enough to guide action and evaluate results. Vision statement is different because it describes a desired future rather than a measurable target. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and bureaucracy is different because it is a formal rule-based structure. Question 69. In a workplace example where an organization relies on written rules, hierarchy, specialization, and formal procedures inside a software company for the ironwood unit, which concept is tested? Option A, adhocracy. Option B, grapevine. Option C, bureaucracy. Option D, job enrichment. The correct answer is option C, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy fits because bureaucracy is a formal structure built around rules, hierarchy, and defined roles. Adhocracy is different because it is flexible and innovation-oriented, grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation. Question 70. Before choosing an answer about executives, choose broad long-term goals for the whole organization inside a government agency for the ironwood unit. Which concept should stand out? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, operational planning. Option C, work scheduling. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option A, strategic planning. Strategic planning fits because strategic planning sets organization-wide direction over a longer time horizon. Operational planning is different because it focuses on short-term day-to-day activities. Work scheduling is different because it assigns timing to tasks, and performance appraisal is different because it evaluates employee results. Question 71. One manager notices that a supervisor paraphrases an employee's concern before responding during a staffing shortage for the ironwood unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, active listening. Option B, filtering. Option C, noise. Option D, downward control. The correct answer is option A, active listening. Active listening fits because active listening checks understanding and shows attention to the speaker. Filtering is different because it distorts information before it reaches the receiver. Noise is different because it interferes with communication, and downward control is different because it is not a standard communication concept. Question 72. Could a case where a manager chooses a leadership style based on the team's skill and the situation during an operations review for the ironwood unit best point to which concept? Option A, contingency theory. Option B, one best way approach. Option C, equity theory. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option A, contingency theory. Contingency theory fits because contingency theory says effective management depends on situational factors. One best way approach is different because it assumes one method works everywhere. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions, and centralization is different because it concerns where authority is held. Question 73. Why would a scenario where leaders describe what the organization wants to become in the future during a strategic planning session for the ironwood unit most likely test which idea? Option A, role. Option B, vision statement. Option C, job description. Option D, concurrent control. The correct answer is option B, vision statement. Vision statement fits because a vision statement expresses an inspiring future state. Role is different because it states a specific required or prohibited behavior. Job description is different because it lists duties of a position, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work while it is happening. Question 74. Where does managers study broad principles such as unity of command and division of work during a compliance review for the ironwood unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, administrative management. Option B, scientific management. Option C, quantitative management. Option D, e-business. The correct answer is option A, administrative management. Administrative management fits because administrative management focuses on general principles for managing organizations. Scientific management is different because it focuses more on individual task efficiency. Quantitative management is different because it applies mathematical models, and e-business is different because it uses digital technology for business processes. Question 75. Should a student connect leaders explain why old habits must change before introducing a new system during a merger discussion for the ironwood unit with which management concept? Option A, refreezing. Option B, controlling. Option C, recruiting. Option D, unfreezing. The correct answer is option D, unfreezing. Unfreezing fits because unfreezing prepares people to let go of current behaviors and accept change. Refreezing is different because it stabilizes the new behavior. Controlling is different because it measures performance against standards, and recruiting is different because it attracts applicants. Question 76. Which concept is shown when a leader rewards employees for meeting agreed performance targets inside a hospital department for the ironwood unit? Option A, transactional leadership. Option B, transformational leadership. Option C, servant leadership. Option D, situational leadership. The correct answer is option A, transactional leadership. Transactional leadership fits because transactional leadership uses exchanges, rewards, and corrective actions. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires commitment to change. Servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers. And situational leadership is different because it adapts style to readiness. Question 77. Someone starts a new venture by taking risk to pursue an opportunity in a remote service team for the Ironwood unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, bureaucracy. Option B, performance appraisal. Option C, entrepreneurship. Option D, feed-forward control. The correct answer is option C, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship fits because entrepreneurship involves creating a venture, taking risk, and seeking opportunity. Bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes formal rules. Performance appraisal is different because it evaluates employees, and feed-forward control is different because it checks inputs before action. Question 78. During a management case, a team ignores warning signs because members want agreement more than realistic evaluation at a logistics company for the Ironwood unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, constructive conflict. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, groupthink. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option C, groupthink. Groupthink fits because groupthink occurs when pressure for harmony weakens critical thinking. Constructive conflict is different because it encourages useful disagreement. Benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices, and equity theory is different because it focuses on perceived fairness. Question 79. How should a manager classify a situation where a manager has the formal right to make decisions and direct work inside a software company for the Ironwood unit? Option A, authority. Option B, responsibility. Option C, accountability. Option D, motivation. The correct answer is option A, authority. Authority fits because authority is the legitimate right to command resources and give orders. Responsibility is different because it is the duty to perform assigned work. Accountability is different because it is being answerable for results, and motivation is different because it is the drive to act. Question 80. When a leader changes direction and support based on follower readiness inside a government agency for the Ironwood unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic management. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, situational leadership. The correct answer is option D, situational leadership. Situational leadership fits because situational leadership adapts leader behavior to the maturity or readiness of followers. Autocratic leadership is different because it consistently centers decisions on the leader. Bureaucratic management is different because it emphasizes formal rules, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns jobs for motivation. Question 81. After an employer uses job-related criteria and avoids discrimination in hiring during a staffing shortage for the Ironwood unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, job enlargement. Option B, grapevine. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, equal employment opportunity. The correct answer is option D, equal employment opportunity. Equal employment opportunity fits because equal employment opportunity requires fair treatment in employment decisions. Job enlargement is different because it expands tasks. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices. Question 82. If an employee compares pay and effort with coworkers and judges fairness during an operations review for the Ironwood unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, expectancy theory. Option B, Maslow's theory. Option C, TQM. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option D, equity theory. Equity theory fits because equity theory focuses on perceived fairness between inputs and outcomes. Expectancy theory is different because it asks whether effort will lead to valued rewards. Maslow's theory is different because it ranks needs in a hierarchy, and TQM is different because it focuses on continuous quality improvement. Question 83. To analyze a case where a supervisor is responsible for 12 direct reports during a strategic planning session for the Ironwood unit, which terms should be selected? Option A, chain of command. Option B, unity of direction. Option C, job specification. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option D, span of control. Span of control fits because span of control is the number of employees reporting directly to a manager. Chain of command is different because it shows reporting lines rather than number of reports. Unity of direction is different because it aligns activities under one plan, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications. Question 84. For an exam item where a leader asks employees for input before making an important decision during a compliance review for the Ironwood unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, laissez-faire leadership. Option C, transactional leadership. Option D, democratic leadership. The correct answer is option D, democratic leadership. Democratic leadership fits because democratic leadership involves participation and shared input. Autocratic leadership is different because it relies on leader-centered decision-making. Laissez-faire leadership is different because it provides minimal direction, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes exchanges of rewards for performance. Question 85. In a workplace example where each side gives up part of what it wants to reach a settlement during a merger discussion for the Ironwood unit, which concept is tested? Option A, collaboration. Option B, avoidance. Option C, accommodation. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option D, compromise. Compromise fits because compromise resolves conflict through mutual concessions. Collaboration is different because it seeks a fuller win-win solution, avoidance is different because it sidesteps the issue, and accommodation is different because it yields to the other side. Question 86. Before choosing an answer about managers set expected revenues and spending limits for a department inside a hospital department for the Ironwood unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, organization chart. Option B, budget. Option C, job description. Option D, grapevine. The correct answer is option B, budget. Budget fits because a budget is a financial plan that helps allocate and control resources. Organization chart is different because it shows formal reporting relationships. Job description is different because it lists position duties, and grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Question 87. One manager notices that a manager adjusts communication after learning local business customs abroad in a remote service team for the Ironwood unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, technical skill. Option B, budget control. Option C, cultural intelligence. Option D, job enlargement. The correct answer is option C, cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence fits because cultural intelligence is the ability to work effectively across cultures. Technical skill is different because it is specialized work knowledge. Budget control is different because it compares financial results, and job enlargement is different because it expands tasks. Question 88. Could a case where a team member reduces tension and encourages quieter members to participate at a logistics company for the Ironwood unit best point to which concept? Option A, maintenance role. Option B, task role. Option C, program decision. Option D, line authority. The correct answer is option A, maintenance role. Maintenance role fits because maintenance roles support group relationships and cohesion. Task role is different because it focuses directly on completing the work. Program decision is different because it handles routine problems, and line authority is different because it commands core work activities. Question 89. Why would a scenario where employees in one culture expect strong hierarchy and unequal authority inside a software company for the Ironwood unit most likely test which idea? Option A, power distance. Option B, individualism. Option C, uncertainty avoidance. Option D, benchmarking. The correct answer is option A, power distance. Power distance fits because power distance describes how much a culture accepts unequal power distribution. Individualism is different because it concerns focus on self versus group. Uncertainty avoidance is different because it concerns comfort with ambiguity, and benchmarking is different because it compares best practices. Question 90. Where does a company prepares a backup response in case a supplier fails inside a government agency for the Ironwood unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, contingency plan. Option B, standing rule. Option C, job analysis. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option A, contingency plan. Contingency plan fits because a contingency plan prepares for possible future events or disruptions. Standing rule is different because it gives a continuing command for repeated behavior. Job analysis is different because it studies tasks and requirements, and downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Question 91. Should a student connect an employee is motivated by achievement, recognition, responsibility, and growth during a staffing shortage for the Ironwood unit with which management concept? Option A, Maslow's hierarchy. Option B, equity theory. Option C, scientific management. Option D, Herzberg's two-factor theory. The correct answer is option D, Herzberg's two-factor theory. Herzberg's two-factor theory fits because Herzberg separates motivators from hygiene factors and links motivators to job satisfaction. Maslow's hierarchy is different because it organizes human needs in levels. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness of reward ratios, and scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency. Question 92. Which concept is shown when new employees learn basic policies, expectations, and workplace routines during an operations review for the Ironwood unit? Option A, orientation. Option B, recruitment. Option C, performance appraisal. Option D, arbitration. The correct answer is option A, orientation. Orientation fits because orientation introduces new hires to the organization and their jobs. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates results, and arbitration is different because it resolves disputes through a binding third party. Question 93. Employees generate original ideas for solving a customer problem during a strategic planning session for the Ironwood unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, control. Option B, creativity. Option C, recruitment. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option B, creativity. Creativity fits because creativity is the production of novel and useful ideas. Control is different because it measures results against standards, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 94. During a management case, employees in marketing and operations coordinate work at the same level during a compliance review for the Ironwood unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, downward communication. Option B, upward communication. Option C, horizontal communication. Option D, chain of command. The correct answer is option C, horizontal communication. Horizontal communication fits because horizontal communication occurs among people or units at similar levels. Downward communication is different because it flows down the hierarchy, upward communication is different because it flows up the hierarchy, and chain of command is different because it shows formal authority lines. Question 95. How should a manager classify a situation where employees share unofficial information before management makes a formal announcement during a merger discussion for the Ironwood unit? Option A, organization chart. Option B, grapevine. Option C, policy manual. Option D, budget report. The correct answer is option B, grapevine. Grapevine fits because the grapevine is the informal communication network inside an organization. Organization chart is different because it is a formal structure diagram, policy manual is different because it gives official guidance, and budget report is different because it gives financial control information. Question 96. When a posting lists required education, skills, and experience for the role inside a hospital department for the Ironwood unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, job description. Option B, procedure. Option C, span of control. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option D, job specification. Job specification fits because a job specification identifies qualifications a worker needs for the job. Job description is different because it lists duties performed, procedure is different because it gives steps for a task, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 97. After an employee follows formal steps to challenge a contract violation in a remote service team for the Ironwood unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, grievance procedure. Option B, selection procedure. Option C, budgeting process. Option D, brainstorming. The correct answer is option A, grievance procedure. Grievance procedure fits because a grievance procedure gives employees a formal path for resolving workplace complaints. Selection procedure is different because it screens job applicants, budgeting process is different because it plans financial resources, and brainstorming is different because it generates ideas before judging them. Question 98. If a manager assigns a task and grants enough authority to complete it at a logistics company for the Ironwood unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, centralization. Option B, delegation. Option C, job rotation. Option D, arbitration. The correct answer is option B, delegation. Delegation fits because delegation transfers responsibility for work along with the authority needed to do it. Centralization is different because it keeps authority near the top, job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and arbitration is different because it uses a third party to make a binding dispute decision. Question 99. To analyze a case where employees worry a new system will reduce their status or job security inside a software company for the Ironwood unit, which terms should be selected? Option A. Empowerment. Option B. Resistance to change. Option C. Benchmarking. Option D. Orientation. The correct answer is option B. Resistance to change. Resistance to change fits because resistance to change often comes from fear, uncertainty, or perceived loss. Empowerment is different because it gives people more discretion, benchmarking is different because it compares against best practices, and orientation is different because it introduces employees to the organization. Question 100. For an exam item where a routine refund request is handled with an established policy inside a government agency for the Ironwood unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A. Non-program decision. Option B. Strategic alliance. Option C. Job enrichment. Option D. Program decision. The correct answer is option D. Program decision. Program decision fits because program decisions use rules or procedures for recurring problems. Non-program decision is different because it addresses new and unusual situations. Strategic alliance is different because it is cooperation between firms, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work.